Welcome back to That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christine McKellar, and I'm here with the world-class diva who I adore and I consider a good friend as well as just a wonderful personality, Demetra George.
Thank you.
So, for those of you who just tuned in, we've talked a little bit about Demetra's background. She actually came from Oklahoma, was Miss Oklahoma, although your last name, Giannopoulos, correct? Your maiden
It
name?
was, yes.
So genetically, I keep saying there was something in the universe that you and Mike were programmed, your husband, to meet, and you've absorbed. Mike was over on a Fulbright scholarship, your husband,
Yes.
and from Cyprus.
Well, and the first date was an eating date. We went to the grocery store and bought food. And my other side is Italian. So we fell in love because we both like anchovies.
It helps.
It does. Anchovy pizza, that was it.
and
Love at first sight and love at first bite.
I like that. That really has a little cachet to that.
Oh, yeah.
And a friend of yours taught you a few words in Turkish, although I'm sure that Mike spoke English when he got here.
Perfect.
But he probably had to work on some phrases once he met you.
Oh, I
Just
don't know.
saying.
But I really wanted to speak the language because I wanted to speak to his mom and find out about all the girlfriends. And so that was a motivator. And then, of course, the shopping in Istanbul and Cyprus was absolutely wonderful. And I needed to bargain. So I took my girlfriends a few years ago, my two best, a cousin, and Miss America from Oklahoma, Jane Giroux. And we all went to the bazaar together. And they kicked us out at 8 o'clock at night when it closes at 6. And they said, ladies, please go home to your husbands. So it was a great trip.
And I wanted to thank you very much for the lovely hostess
so
gift. You were thinking of me, and I just
Yes.
appreciate that
Sweetie,
so much.
for sure.
You two have two lovely daughters as well.
Thank you.
Yes, Devon and Denise. And they've been, boy, the past year or so for you, there were two weddings, both daughters.
Very exciting. Wonderful son-in-laws.
Yes.
And great daughters. The youngest has her own internet company. She drives business to people's sites, and the youngest just finished her PsyD, psychology, and
Nice.
we're so happy. We'll have. I'm Dr. Demetra George Mustafalu from Oklahoma City University, honorary degree, and now we have Denise is Dr. Denise Amadinia, and two in the family, and lots of bosses because all the girls, lots of hormones.
Poor Mike. No, he handles it well. I've seen him in action.
It's true.
And he thrives.
Oh.
Yeah, actually.
He's the
with baby.
greatest girls' daddy. I cannot tell you.
Yeah, I believe that. I've actually, like I said in the previous segment, been invited to your home again. It was very gracious of you. Had a wonderful time. I even brought my Labradoodle. Everybody
Baby,
loves Trixie.
I love her.
Back to our little Vegas venture here. I know you two are here on a little holiday, and that we grabbed the opportunity to have you on the show. It's been a dream of mine ever since I started the
you.
show. I was actually going to go to L.A. just to do a show in the Hollywood studio to get you on.
You are sweet.
But you came.
I'll come anytime.
Oh, good.
I promise.
You've had a couple exciting, after 14 years with the former Nevada Opera Theater, which is now the Grand Opera of Nevada, you held a position as the resident Nevada soprano for 14
I
years.
did, and with incredible stories. I mean, I've done Traviata for them, I've done Bohème several times, but the greatest story was we were the first opera on the Strip at the Paris Hotel, and when I was preparing to die at the end of La Traviata, the fire alarms went on.
Oh, no.
And they emptied the theater, and I looked at the maestro, Frank Fetta, and I said, do you smell smoke? He said, no. I said, I don't smell smoke. I'm not leaving. I'm going to die in this bed. And we waited 20 minutes till everyone came back into the theater, and I started to read the death letter all over again. I didn't want to break my character. I said, don't talk to me. We had a great time.
Did you ever figure out why the smoke alarms went off?
Yes,
or-
they had been they had been using the some machinery to make a latticing for my second act in the opera, or third act.
So it was your fault.
It was my fault. And I guess it had been sucked up. The wood chips had been sucked up into the alarms.
Oh,
And that's what
that's not
set it
funny.
off.
Uh-huh.
No, but it was a great adventure.
And that's what a great way to start. I mean, with a bang. You also were involved for about 7 years at Lake Las Vegas, right? With the Bocelli-
wonderful
oh,
experience.
When you, well, there was so much. You were nominated for the Grammy the same
Yes.
year as Andreas Bocelli.
Yes.
And you met him.
I met him. Mike was with me. They introduced us, and sweet, sweet young man. And he said, "Okay, I have to give you a kiss." So I turned and got a kiss on the cheek, and it was an honor because I'm a huge fan.
Right.
I love it. We both love everything he does. Whenever we go wine tasting in California, we put his music on. We play it overseas. We love him. And the stage was built for Bocelli at Lake Las Vegas for one of his concerts.
Oh.
Now, if you've ever been on that stage, it does move with the wind. So many nights there was symphony music flying into the water and a little seasick, but a great event, a great venue.
Yes,
I really
love
miss
the
doing
events
that.
out there.
Oh.
And when you say it was built for him, is it because of his blindness that they had to have certain?
No, they just it was a request to make, because the whole business of that location is to make it look like the Ponte Vecchio in Italy.
Oh, okay.
And so they put the stage right there so you have that gorgeous background.
You know so much about the operas and everything. Have you studied the histories of all these different?
Oh, sure you have to.
Yeah, of the
Yes.
different countries that you've traveled to as well, and.
I do. We do. And
Right.
it's great to know culture. If you don't speak the language, you need to know about the culture.
Right.
But
Oh,
I
yes.
really like being able to speak some of the language. So if I'm speaking Spanish with someone and I can't remember or can't get my point across, I jump into Italian, and they're so close.
Right, the Latin.
You'll always find a few words.
Did you find the Turkish tongue difficult to master? or-
It was different for me. To my ear, it sounded like a cross between German and French, because it has the umlauts like Uber and the shs and chs like French does. And it has an I that is an that we don't have in English.
Ah.
So. And it's a Latin alphabet, so that was extremely helpful. And actually, once you learn a few words, I taught my brother, I taught my girlfriends, I taught them how to say, no, that's too expensive. No, that's the right price.
Okay, will you teach me?
Sure, you come visit.
Okay. Learn a couple phrases myself. I'm usually the one, I'll pick up a handbook and learn, where is the bathroom? May I have the bill?
Most
And a room
important.
with a shower. That's what I learned a long time ago when I was traveling Europe in the 70s and 80s. But so the Grammy nominee, that must have been, and you were nominated the same time as Bocelli, so you're right up there with that. And where did you
It was a
meet him
great
at?
honor.
Was
I
it-
met him at an event. It was his concert in Los Angeles.
Okay, so it
at
was in
the
LA.
Staples Center, and friends who knew him took us back and introduced us.
And then Mike, did you live here in Las Vegas when you were performing all the time?
No, actually, I stayed mostly with my godmother, Chloe Nicholson.
Okay.
And we had too much fun.
So LA was a hub, right? Pretty much between Cyprus and...
Yes, yeah. I mean, we lived in Los Angeles like 10 years, and then we went overseas. Our children, we moved to Los Angeles from Florida, and our children never wanted to go back for school because, frankly, between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, it's adult Disneyland, so
Right.
why would you go anywhere else?
I guess. I know. I'm still here and I'm enjoying
Oh,
it.
yeah, totally.
Although the humidity could go away.
But I have to explain, and I've been saying this to everyone, hold on to your hats, because with what's going on in the world, Las Vegas is going to become more important as a destination, as a holiday and family destination.
Oh, thank you for
Totally.
saying
So
that.
it's a good time to invest.
Buy a condo. Do
Yeah,
something.
really.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sponsor my show. I'm just throwing that out there. I wanted to talk to you too about your cultural diplomatic status, because that's pretty interesting, and how you had to be nominated for that.
I was nominated by an ambassador, U.S. ambassador in Cyprus, and they had seen the work I was doing,
which we'll talk about in the next segment, because you've got so much
in
coming up.
Cyprus and the U.S., and I was extremely honored, and it just came at a really wonderful time in my life when I hadn't been well, and gave me an extra boost to keep going and stay well, and now I need to keep giving back.
Oh, we'll definitely talk about that, because you are giving back in spades, I would say. A quick shout out to the Red Roof Inn again. I want to add that they do have free Wi-Fi for guests. Yeah, and a free continental breakfast. They're close to the airport. They're close to the Strip. They're right across from the Hard Rock Hotel. No resort fees, no parking fees, and they're just good people and pet friendly. Stay tuned, don't go away. We're going to be right back with Demetra George.